You may not see it, but there's a dirty little secret hiding in the kitchen of your favorite restaurants. Cooking in immersion circulators or sous vide cooking is standard operating procedure for everything from steaks, barbecue meats, sides, and more than you can imagine. And people at home are getting on the sous vide bandwagon to save time and get more predictable results for restaurant quality meals at home. In this video, we're putting 9 sous vide machines to the test to see which one deserves a place on your countertop. I'm David Gafford, and here at the Barbecue Lab, Melissa and I gather our own evidence by testing cooking gear to see what deserves your hard-earned dollar. We're testing the strength of the heating elements, the circulation of the bath, how accurate they are on the temperature side, and how loud they are while they're running, and a whole lot more. Their prices range from $40 to almost $300, so let's start off by meeting the contenders. We purchased these sous vide machines, so this is not a sponsored video, and our opinions are our own. The least expensive machine is the Wancle at $41.99. It's an 1100 watt machine with a range of 77 to 194 degrees Fahrenheit. The Anova Nano 2.0 comes in at $63.99 as an 800 watt machine with a range of 32 to 197 degrees Fahrenheit. The Greater Good Sous Vide is $89.99 with 1100 watts of power and a range of 68 to 203 degrees Fahrenheit. The Inkbird 2.4G was $95.99 with 1000 watts of power and a range of 32 to 194 degrees Fahrenheit. The $169 Anova Precision 3.0 has a range of 32 to 197 degrees Fahrenheit and 1100 watts of power. Meet Your Maker Sous Vide 4 is also $169. It has 900 watts of power and has a range of 41 to 194 degrees Fahrenheit. The Anova Precision Pro was $199.99 and features 1200 watts of power with a range of 32 to 197 degrees Fahrenheit. The Breville Jewel was $238 with 1100 watts of power and a range of 68 to 197 degrees Fahrenheit. And the Meet Your Maker Sous Vide 10 was $279.99 for 1200 watts of power and a range of 41 to 203 degrees Fahrenheit. If you want to see more on any of these sous vide machines, we have links here in the QR code on the screen or in the description down below this video. We even have discount codes to share for a couple of these, so be sure to check there first before you make a purchase. To test any sous vide, I want to know the strength of the heater. We filled the tub with 10 liters of cold tap water and set each sous vide to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. We set a timer on the ThermalWorks time stack and timed how long it took for the sous vide to indicate that the set temperature had been reached. Here's a chart of the results with the Breville Jewel Turbo being the fastest, hitting 135 degrees in 22 minutes and 25 seconds. The Anova Precision Pro was just 3 seconds slower, and the Meet 10 came in third, just 28 seconds behind our first place. As you would expect, there's a fairly direct correlation between the wattage and how quickly each circulator was able to reach temperature. During the heat-up test, the sous vide told us that the bath was at the right temperature, but we want to verify that as well. We inserted the reference thermopin into the bath for 1 minute to make sure that we were getting a fair reading, and here are the results. The Greater Goods model showed it was only 0.02 degrees under temperature with the Anova Precision Pro and the Meet 4 at 0.04 and 0.05 respectively. The Meet 10 had the largest difference with 1.79 degrees under the set temperature. Hey, if you're getting value out of this video, we would love to have you stick around because there's a ton more coming on the channel in future weeks. So, you know what to do. One of the hallmarks of sous vide cooking is how evenly it cooks, but we wanted to test how well each of these circulated the water to keep the heat even throughout the bath. During the heat-up test, we attached 2 food probes to a ThermalWorks Signals 4-channel thermometer using 2 standard meat probes. The first probe we have on the front right side and only about an inch deep. And the second probe is on the back left at full depth, closest to the circulator. We were curious how much of a temperature difference would be measured at these two different points in the water bath. The ThermoWorks cloud recorded temperature readings every minute for each thermometer. We took the difference between the two and averaged the results, and here's how things looked. The Inkbird showed a 0.53 degree difference throughout the bath for the most stable bath temperature, but all of the models really excelled in this test, with a range of 0.53 as the best and 0.84 as the worst. They were all more than capable in this test. For the question of the day, I want you to sound off on the recent viral video from Malcolm Reed and Guga about cooking a chicken breast in a sous vide at 145 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. They say it's the best texture you're going to get for chicken, but 20 degrees under what most of us grill chicken to at 165 degrees. Would you try it? Sound off in the comments down below and let me know what you think. Since we're talking about a cooking device that's probably going to operate in the kitchen, it's important to know how much background or foreground noise they're going to add to your home. We took readings from a decibel meter 2 inches from the unit while operating, and here were the max decibels for each model. While I wouldn't consider any of them to be loud, the Greater Goods, Breville Jewel, and Wancle were so quiet we could barely even tell they were on. Now, this isn't a sponsored video, but we bought all of these units, so I suppose we're really the sponsors ourselves. So here's a shameless plug. We have our own line of seasonings that we make small batch and ship across the country, and they're stunningly good. Feathered formula for chicken wings and even sous vide chicken breasts, essential equation for steaks, burgers, and veggies, and our pork protocol for ribs, pulled pork, and chops. If you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, grab the trifecta bundle with all 3 seasonings or the Hexpansion pack with 6 bottles today. Your family, friends, and taste buds will thank you. Now, we've covered a lot of ground so far, but let's talk about what it's like to use these firsthand. We're working with water here, so I wanted to know if you could use the controls with damp fingers, and there really weren't any problems with any of them, even when you're pressing on a digital display, which I thought might cause issues. Whether you're using these with a large pot or a dedicated sous vide container, you still need to attach the unit to the side of the container, and they're quite different in how they approach that. All of these will work with both a sous vide tub and a large pot. The Breville has a magnetic base for metal pots, which is a standout feature if that's your use case. For using them with a plastic tub, they all clamp easily, but it's the lid for that particular tub you need to check before you buy. Most of these machines are circular in nature, and most plastic tubs have a circular cutout in the lid. The Meat 10 model is rectangular and isn't compatible with standard tubs. Meat sells a tub with the right cutout, so it's worth noting that covering a long-running hot water bath stops evaporation and holds the heat in. Working with a pot, you might have to resort to plastic wrap, which does work fine in our experience. Some of these units need a higher water level than others, so we measured the height of the minimum required depth for each using a 7.5-inch tall plastic sous vide container, which you can find in the links below. The Breville Jewel only needed 2 inches of water, while the Anova Nano 2.0 needed 5 1/8 inches of water, so a massive difference in how those models are designed and how much water you'll need to operate them. Anytime water is involved in cooking, there's the question of cleaning, and I wanted to know how easy each of these are to clean. How easy are they to take apart and get between the clamps and the circulator? The only model that doesn't disassemble for cleaning is the Anova Nano 2.0, and that gives me some pause on that model. The Breville Jewel only allows for disassembly of the magnetic portion on the bottom, while all of the others allow the sleeve to come off to clean the internal elements, though a couple of them will require a screwdriver to do so. All of these circulators have a low-end range, but I know we like to use sous vide in cold water baths to thaw frozen meats and rapidly chill cooked food. Some of these have much higher low temperatures than 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is where we run our ice baths, so that's important to us. The Wancle has a low of 77 degrees, and the Breville and Greater Goods have 68 degrees for a low, followed by both of the Meet Your Maker models with a low of 41 degrees. You certainly can thaw meat at these higher temperatures, but we really prefer using a sous vide where the bath won't automatically heat when we're trying to keep things as cold as possible. Now, some of these circulators have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and app connectivity, and the question is that important? We use sous vides in the office and at home, and I admit that I often forget that I have food in them, so notifications and connectability would probably be really helpful. The Breville is easily the most connected in that it doesn't even have a display or touchscreen other than what you see on the app. The Anova Pro and the 3.0 both use the Anova app, and you can control the units without the upgraded monthly subscription you'll see offered. Inkbird rounds out the group with app functionality as well, but we found the Breville app to be the most robust of the group. Now, here's how my brain sees the results after all of our testing. We've already spent our money on these, so what's done is done. But what would I buy if I had the knowledge of these tests and hadn't already purchased them all? The least expensive was the Wancle, and it punches above its weight class for sure. It's 5 to 7 times less than some of the others, but it did the job, and I think it's a great entry into sous vide for those who want to try it out. It's absolutely my budget pick, and I wouldn't hesitate to use it as my daily driver at home for right around $40. My only question or hesitation is regarding its longevity. I've never heard the brand name before, so I don't know how confident I am in it working for more than a year or two, but still a steal to get started if you're new to this. Now, Melissa and I have different options on what we would choose if we could only pick one. She really likes the app functionality of the Breville Jewel and the fact that she can audibly tell Alexa to set up a cook session. She also loves how slim and quiet it is and how quickly it heats up. We didn't go into any detail about the turbo mode that it has, which cuts time needed in the bath by half, so that's another plus. But let's be honest, Melissa is bougie. She's seen all the bells and whistles, and given the choice, she wants the convenience. I don't disagree with the things that she loves about the Breville. I'm really right there with her. However, the Breville falls short in one category for me, and that's the low temperature ability. I prefer a sous vide that will allow me to circulate an ice bath, and with the Breville insisting on heating water to at least 68 degrees, that just doesn't really work for me. I thaw a lot of meat for things that we cook on the channel in a sous vide, so I want controls under 40 degrees to keep meats out of the 40 to 140 time temperature danger zone. That eliminates both meat units, the Breville, Wancle, and Greater Goods for me. Anova and Inkbird can both go down to 32 degrees, so therein lies my choice. Anova gives a 2-year warranty to Inkbird's 1 year. It can also reach a few degrees higher. The Inkbird is a little quieter, but that's not as important to me here at the lab, since the sous vide will be in the kitchen separate from where I'll be working most of the time. Both brands have apps with similar features, so no decision help there. 2 of the Anovas heated up faster than the Inkbird, so I'll kick the Nano out of the running here. I think it really comes down to the Anova Precision 3.0 and the Anova Precision Pro. Probably for me here at the lab, I'll use the Pro because of its greater capacity of 26 liters over the 19-liter capacity of the 3.0. But if I didn't already own it and I was buying it for home, I would likely get the 3.0 as long as I'm not sous viding for large crowds. So there you have it. That's my thought process for what would work best for me and why. So how about you? Even if you're not currently in the market for a sous vide, what factors would be driving your decision here? Sound off in the comments down below. To find the links to these sous vide units and anything else we used in this video, just scan the QR code here on the screen or use the links in the description below. We have a couple of discount codes as well that you can find either place. When you shop through our links, it supports the channel, and that's what keeps the comparisons just like this one coming your way. If you're shopping for a new sous vide and you're thinking about maybe a vacuum sealer upgrade as well, we've already done the research for you there. You can check that video out next. I'll put it on the end card. And lastly, since sous vide meats are uglier than sin coming out of the bag, check out our roundup of propane torches for some suggestions on what to use to get that final sear on your sous vide proteins. If you want to see us apply the same critical analysis to gear of the outdoors that's not barbecue, check out our second channel called Lab Reviewed. As soon as the floodwaters drain here in Indiana, we'll be back with more outdoor fun. I'm David Gafford. Behind the camera and a lot of this testing is Melissa. Thanks for watching. Smash a like if you got some value, and we will see you on the next one.